Hello and welcome. What is Binance Smart Chain? What is BNB? On the market since 2020, BNB Smart Chain, formerly Binance Smart Chain, is among the most used and well-known networks in our sector. This creature is part of the larger ecosystem created by Binance, the world's leading crypto exchange. It joins the BNB Beacon Chain, BNB Chain Governance, formerly Binance Chain, and goes beyond its limits. The end result is a powerful environment full of opportunities. The history of the Made in Binance networks began in April 2019 with the launch of the Binance Chain, whose main task was to offer an infrastructure suitable for the proper functioning of the exchange itself. In fact, this blockchain is designed for Binance's trading activity and optimizes its performance on every front. Everything seems perfect, but it is not. The Binance Chain did its job perfectly but had shortcomings elsewhere. Having been developed for a specific purpose, the developers were in fact forced to make sacrifices. Unfortunately, as with countless other services, blockchain too often has to make compromises. Among the limitations, we mention the non-compatibility with the Ethereum Virtual Machine, EVM, and smart contracts. In addition, and more generally, it was flexibility above all that was penalized, to which scalability was also added. We often say it and we repeat it with pleasure. The blockchain world is lively and problems are almost always solved with ingenious and quality technical solutions. In this case, the rule was confirmed. To overcome the limitations of the BNB chain, Binance decided to launch another network, Binance Smart Chain, abbreviated as BSC. Since February 2022, the two realities have changed their names. The Binance Chain has become BNB Beacon Chain. The Binance Smart Chain has instead changed to BNB Smart Chain. Abbreviations remain the same. In addition to this variation, other changes have been introduced which we will return to later. Combined, these two networks form the BNB chain. In the next paragraphs we will find out what the BNB Smart Chain is and how it works. We will then shift our attention to BNB, the native coin of both networks, which has long been among the top 5 cryptocurrencies. What is the BNB Smart Chain, BSC? The BNB Smart Chain, BSC, is the compatible EVM blockchain of the Binance ecosystem. It is not to be considered a layer 2, it is a network that can function independently of the BNB Beacon Chain. As we said in the previous paragraph, the creation of the BSC was necessary to go beyond the limits of the BNB Beacon Chain, known at the time as Binance Chain. The BNB Smart Chain supports smart contracts and has given birth to one of the most vibrant DeFi ecosystems in the entire crypto landscape. Later we will take a quick look at the most famous protocols that still dominate the scene today. The EVM compatibility, mentioned several times, is the gateway for forks of projects already present on Ethereum or other blockchains that support its virtual machine. Furthermore, this feature allows you to use the most well-known wallets such as MetaMask. This last step is more important than it might seem. The user does not have to start from the beginning and learn everything from scratch. He already knows how to use the wallet. The forked protocols work according to mechanisms identical to the parent, and maybe even knows some bridges. The compatible EVM chains therefore have a strong point in terms of user experience that is not indifferent. Moving on to performance and technical aspects, the BSC is a very valid blockchain. The block time is about 3 seconds. Therefore, transactions are remarkably fast. We also add economic ones, because very few fragments of BNB are enough to move cryptocurrencies or interact with smart contracts and DeFi protocols. The consensus algorithm used is a declination of the proof of stake, more specifically a proof of staked authority, POSA. The substance does not change. The BNB coin stake is the principle on which everything else revolves. On validators, there is an election system every 200 blocks which aims to favor rotation. Their number is 41, March 2022. Of these, only 21 are elected and actually at work. The BSC is a technically valid blockchain from all points of view, but here a big problem stands out: centralization. Validators are very few. This guarantees the excellent performances we are witnessing but makes everything more closed, controlled and potentially censorable. Instead, addressing the relationship between this network and the BNB Beacon Chain, they are obviously able to communicate easily. After all, Binance is always behind the scenes. Therefore, thanks to particular technical solutions, users are able to move coins and tokens from one place to another without too many thoughts. Assets on the BNB Beacon Chain are BEP2 assets. Those on the BNB Smart Chain are instead called BEP20, non-random similarity with the ERC20 of Ethereum. Binance Coin is the native cryptocurrency of the entire BNB chain. It is therefore employed on both the Beacon Chain and the Smart Chain. This coin is also very interesting as a potential asset to invest in. Let's take a look at the tokenomics. The supply is 200 million copies and no mechanism is envisaged to increase the number. On the contrary, thanks to periodic burns, the BNB circulating decreases over time. Binance's plan calls for the destruction of around 100 million pieces, 50% of the supply. The distribution is broken down as follows. 100 million units on the market, launched with an ICO back in 2017. 20 million for investors. Since there has been no vesting, any pressure to sell can be said to have ended some time ago. 80 million reserved for Binance founders and unlocked over 4 years. Since Q2 of 2019, these funds are burned and no longer pocketed. Now let's look at the use cases. First, BNB is the currency needed to pay the gas fees of both blockchains that make up the BNB chain. Since we are talking about Binance and one of the main DeFi marketplaces, the demand for this crypto is always lively. Then, as with many cryptocurrencies linked to an exchange, possession entitles you to discounts, reductions on trading commissions. Those who move large capitals and operate frequently will certainly be happy. BNB is the asset to hold to join the Binance Launchpads, a service highly appreciated by communities and investors. The link refers to a well-detailed study. Do we want to stay on the classic? The BNB coin can be staked to contribute to the smooth functioning of the infrastructure. In return, we will receive an attractive passive income. But this cryptocurrency is much more. Binance is an evolving exchange and is constantly looking for new services to offer to its customers. In this process, the coin almost always plays a leading role. Pros and cons of the BNB Smart Chain. We take into consideration what we know about the BSC and evaluate what is good and what needs to be improved. Among the pros, let's talk about performance right away. This blockchain is fast and stable, hard to be disappointed. Gas fees are also a reason to be happy. Even if there are even cheaper networks, with a few cents on a dollar, transactions can also be approved on DeFi platforms. As for safety, nothing unusual to report. Another point in favor is the presence of an actor like Binance, a guarantee for the proper functioning and updating of the chain over time. Adding to these benefits is EVM compatibility and a complete decentralized finance ecosystem. It's unlikely you won't find what you're looking for. Unfortunately, there are also negative aspects. Most relevant is probably the discourse on centralization. Okay, Binance, security is okay too, but validators are very few. On the one hand, this guarantees good performance, but on the other, the doors to control and censorship are wide open. All in all, not really a good thing. A further point against it lies in the fact that the BSC is a chain that hosts numerous scam tokens and shitcoins of various kinds. Let me be clear. The infrastructure has no responsibility in this regard. Unfortunately, thanks to the detailed tutorials on the net, anyone can create a BEP20 token and publish it on the blockchain. This is also automatically integrated by PancakeSwap. All this costs very few dollars, barely what a breakfast would cost us. A scammer has it easy from a technical point of view. He needs enough funds to provide decent liquidity for his creation and a good marketing campaign. The abundance of shitcoins therefore throws mud on a technically well-designed and valuable infrastructure. One last note. What has just been said also happens on many other networks. To avoid buying tokens with no intrinsic value, just get informed. Thank you very much. I remind you to support us by subscribing to the channel, leave a like and comment.